that you can reap from Obamacare. Those words are hard to come out of your mouth all at once. But this is the guy who can tell you how that actually works. And we were at the Knowledge Exchange last Wednesday with that seminar that Veris Insurance Partners did. And I saw business owners sitting at these tables you're talking about in that classroom, and their jaw dropping open, understanding that, oh, wait a minute, there is some good stuff here that helps us learn to avoid the pitfalls of Obamacare and what's going on. There's the guy who can tell you how to do it. And I don't know if you want to throw out a little bit of a snippet or two of that or not.
Well, actually, I'd kind of turn it a little bit. I work mainly with small business owners, 50 and below is kind of our market base. And a lot of them are pissed off. Why? Because, you know, when Mama said, you know, you didn't build that.
Yeah.
That really torqued off a lot of them. And they were mad. The one thing I learned about small business owners is that they really are, they'll pay themselves last. They'll pay their employees first. They always take care of them first. So that was a new concept. I came from a corporate world where you were just a number, you know, you had to bang, 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 get out your product, you know, and if you didn't make profit for your company, you'd probably be one of the ones that suffered a layoff. But with small business owners, they really buried their head in the sand in all this. We didn't do a very good job of getting out, or they didn't want to hear it, you know. And they were hoping it would go away, and it didn't go away. But there is some opportunities for business owners that they can just totally just get out of the whole healthcare plan group stuff, empower their people. I remember, I'll just tell you a story. I walked into a, you don't want to do this, okay? I walked into a small business owner, and one, I said, hey, how you doing? I said, hey, tell me a little bit about Amendment 4. What do you know about it? I don't know any damn thing about it, you know? And he said, I said, nobody came over here to talk to you about, hey, this is supposed to be good for your business? And he goes, there ain't nobody around here, these damn politicians. Anyway, I said, oh, okay, well, hey, what do you think about Obamacare? I'm a health insurance agent. He goes and opens his door, his drawer on his desk, and I thought he was going to pull out a gun on me. I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm just asking questions, you know, I just wanted to know what your take is, but it's quite amazing that a lot of us buried our head in the sands and didn't take that approach. And one of it was we didn't reach out to those small, to the younger crowd, I think. You know, when I go and speak in front of employees and I tell them, you know, hey, you're going to be fine. You got to go out and get health insurance. There's nothing about it. They always think, oh, it's going to be a small fine. Well, they don't know the other part of it. It's whatever is greater. So 1% the first year, 2% next year, 2.5% following year, and then whatever Kathleen says after that. So they're shocked and they're pissed. They're all pissed. Why can't we use something to leverage that against, you know, those people who elected this person? Because younger people are pissed about it. They're Superman. They don't need health insurance. They don't want health insurance. They want their iPods.
Yeah.
They want their cell phones, but they don't want that.
That's very true.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
And I hate to keep sticking on the baby boomers, but are you going to be, is insurance going to go through the same thing like Social Security and stuff? Because they're all pyramid schemes. Insurance has got to have more coming in after them to pay the ones going out. Are you guys going to have a natural problem of raising prices too and everything? Do you understand what I'm saying?
If you're asking, do I expect for premiums to go up? And
Is that going to be a natural thing besides what's going on?
yeah. So what we predict that insurance is going to go up by 30 to 40%, you know, 14. And so little things in Obamacare that says, hey, unlimited sources of income for your health care, okay? Unlimited benefits. Well, the little caveat in there is, hey, limited, but you can limit services. So what are those services you can limit? Like a Medicare person, you can only have one stent a year. There's those limited service. That's a limited service. Or the guy that we had the other day. You need 4 stents. Medicare said, well, we can only give you 1, and I can't give you any more. So he had to go on his wife's policy and get the other 3 done.
Wow.
So those are the types of things we're going to face, and you guys are experienced with that. So it's the only way to control costs. Another big thing that they said was wellness. Hey, if you
But is it not driving it closer to a free market? Where if you are, like me, a smoker, trying to not be a smoker, a little overweight, but blood pressure, everything else is fine, I'm still gonna pay more because of those risks that I have in play.
Yes,
And the guy whose BMI is off the chart, he should have to pay more.
right.
So,
I think it's gonna turn out that you won't be able to buy it regardless of how much money you have.
However, you have the choice of going on public dole right now. The public dole being one of the four brands.
And that's where everybody's gonna go, they can't.
but not while I'm employed by Clear Channel, I don't have that choice.
That's right.
Because they offer the plan, I've gotta take their plan, or go find a plan
Right.
somewhere.
And one of the dangerous things I see too for us military is that our TRICARE benefits are going to be considered a Cadillac plan. So we're gonna be charged.
God help us.
40% of that is going to be.
And it's really a 52 DeSoto.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, if that's, oh my God.
So I try to keep abreast of the veterans side of it, because you hear these little, you guys get notes at military.com. You see these little trickle parts that talks about our health care. Oh, they're thinking about raising this, or they're thinking about lowering that.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's
Anyway,
coming.
you got the business, you got the insurance stuff, Keith, you gotta talk to.
Yeah.
In the early stages, go ahead, stay up. In the early stages, an HR director told me that it's probably gonna be cheaper to drop everybody off the health plan and make them join into
Yes.
this group plan.
If not now, the next.
Which is what they were planning all along.
Right.
Yeah.
Single payer system. Yep.
Yeah. And
If I understood the presentation right the other night, which is the second or third time I've heard the information, group insurance is now more expensive than individual policy.
Right.
And it's gonna be cheaper and better for your employer to say, here's $200 a month, or $400 a month, whatever they're paying for your portion of your insurance now, giving it to you, you go find your policy, and chances are that's gonna pay for your entire individual policy, and you're gonna be grateful to your employer for paying for all your healthcare insurance, because in the group plan, they're probably paying about half. And individually, it's gonna cost you about half to find your own. Is that
How much
ballpark?
is the fine? Because if the fine's only $2,000, they're not gonna pay $400 a month, that's gonna be $4,800 a year.
Well, remember, there's compounding on the fines,
Is there?
and
Well-
number of employees makes that even bigger.
Well, I think your question is, would it be cheaper to
to just drop
But
the
I-
Oh, yeah.
group
Yes,
health insurance plan that the
absolutely.
county has.
Absolutely. When the whole thing was kicking off, Boeing was looking at it, and they were gonna save $500 million the first year because of that, in healthcare costs.
If they paid the fine,
Yeah.
they made him go.
Fine.
One of the things that David talked about in the meeting the other night, and I don't know if it's during one of the times you've seen it more times than I have, but this whole school board half-cent tax thing that they're griping about, he sat down with two of the school board members individually because they can't sit down together and get the information all at once because it's a sunshine violation. Anyway, could have saved them the money they're talking about trying to collect if they would have gone with the health plan that these guys have put together, as opposed to what they're doing with the group plan now. And there would have been $8 million savings first year like that.
Yeah.
And they looked at him like he had 3 heads and antenna coming out of his ears.
I told David, he's the president, I said, look, I don't wanna get involved with these guys, they want to just work me off. He, Bingley?
Bingley, yeah.
He came to the knowledge exchange and he talked about how, we save this money and that money and this money, and then he brings up a slide about healthcare, and he's like, oh, we saved 5%, that's really bad, you know, and I didn't say anything, cause we could instantly save them 20 to 40% in their healthcare costs, and that would have been over $8 million if they would have followed the model.
And they wouldn't listen.
Here's a funny thing, Bill, was Brevard County's already done this. They've kind of built a defined contribution model for the
City of Melbourne too,
Yeah.
right?
So,
Yeah.
and they saved a lot of money in the first 2 years now.
But isn't
They
Obama
structured it a little bit
isn't
different.
Obama gonna figure this out? This is lost revenue. If people convert from group plans, aren't they gonna put some penalty in there? Because they have pre-existing things in the law that if you try to convert your form of business or your form of insurance, that they can come back and find you.
I think you're talking about the look-back period.
Yeah.
If you try to restructure your business, yes.
Right.
Yes.
But aren't they gonna figure, anytime they're losing revenue, aren't they gonna go try to get that revenue back?
You know, the way I see it, what they really want us to do is push us all onto a public dole. public system. And that's what I think is
Right,
happening
that's
here.
cool.
I don't think
It's,
it's
it's like a yearly meeting with your mortuary to find out what upgrades you need to your coffin. Okay, this is what this is,
So,
to me.
Like Larry, let's say your business, you had under 50 employees, what you do, but let's say you had 5 of those businesses, but they're all under your umbrella. If to avoid Obamacare, you broke them up into 5 individual businesses, you're still the big entity and you're still stuck
If
with
I didn't do it
Obamacare.
2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, if you'd have
Well, all
done it
I
then,
did-
you'd have been okay.
But all I did is what a lot of small business people do, we fired all of our employees.
Exactly.
And, but I'm just saying, anytime we figure something out, they figure out something else. you know,
Yeah,
so,
right.
you know,
Right about that.
I just feel like the guy with the thumb in the dike, you know, and he just keeps, and every time we get a thumb in the dike.
What's the guy's name that tells us how much we're promised we were short 70 trillion at
Yeah.
the beginning, and now he's saying 100, Dave Campbell or something, he was the comptroller of the United States.
I remember who you're talking about, his name's escaping me
I
right now.
tell you, again, the baby boomers, it is so talked about. All of our systems are based on the next generation being bigger. Insurance, pensions, Social Security, everything. And there's gonna be a big wrench thrown in the system in the next 4 or 5 years. The jobs thing is gonna flip-flop. There's 300,000 jobs a day being retired on. Maybe not all of them are retiring completely. It doesn't make any sense what's going on, really. They're just not replacing the nutrition. You know, it's gonna flip-flop. That's why they're focusing on immigration. That's why they're focusing on trying to get everybody on the government thing, because
Keith, what you're saying is there's not gonna be enough people producing to maintain the
That's what's
people that are
happening.
already taking.
if
Right.
That's what's happening.
The makers, the takers gonna be
The
outweigh
takers
the
are gonna
makers.
outproduce.
all of our systems
And you have to go back to
based on
Ayn Rand
pyramid.
and
Right.
read Atlas Shrugged to see what happens.
And you couple that with the fact that the federal government has been actually borrowing from Social Security for decades.
Double dipping.
And in my world, cash flow means a lot. Obviously, you know, that money's probably not gonna be there anymore, unless the federal government's actually gonna pay it back from some other program.
Well, in 4 years, that guy said the committed promises went from 70 trillion to 120 now. He's on C-SPAN like every couple months. He's on CNBC a lot.
Broder? No.
No,
David, I've got his book sitting on my,
Dave something.
under my TV. I've got in the video, yeah.
He's with the No Labels group.
Yeah. Beck had him as part of his early 9/12 tours, stuff like that. Yeah.